Valve does whatever the hell it wants. This isn't shocking considering the massive amounts of wealth and influence the company enjoys in the video game industry.
Translation. Hi, Half-Life Alyx is around the corner and our channel is dying, so we figured we'd make a video about why Valve is anti-consumer, but not explain or prove why they're anti-consumer, just so we can get some clicks. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
The surprising part is how players respond positively to Valve over and over again, even when the company's announcements feel more like a slap in the face.
Tell me what about Valve making a VR game is a slap to the face to anybody, because what I've been seeing since its announcement is nothing but excitement. People can't wait to get their hands on the game and experience more Half-Life, even if it's in VR form. The announcement trailer had an overwhelmingly positive reaction. You know, the exact opposite of your video's like to dislike ratio. What a great way to start your video. Seeing the screen saying Valve can do no wrong, as if that's what we're saying, or if that's what anyone who uses Steam is saying, is just so disingenuous, and you're already being just inappropriately rude for no reason. You're not here to discuss anything or debate or explain why. You're already starting with Valve can do no wrong. As if people think Valve is some perfect entity and we do not ever hold them accountable for bad practices or anything of the like. The way this video is presented, it's like you're salty towards Valve or Steam for whatever reason, but I guess we'll find out.
It's unclear just how much money Valve pulls in each year, since it's a private entity and doesn't have to publicly disclose its finances. But estimates of its annual revenue begin at $4 billion. Valve founder Gabe Newell is personally worth $3.5 billion, according to Forbes. The company's main money fountain is Steam, which has been the top PC gaming platform for more than a decade, with 1 billion registered accounts and an average of 90 million monthly active users.
Okay. Who gives a fuck how much money Steam makes or Lord Gaben makes? Are you projecting? Are you mad that you're broke or something and can't afford an index?
And that's just Steam. Valve also owns a library of legendary video game franchises, including Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, Portal, Counter-Strike, Dota, and Team Fortress. Plus it has a hardware division building experimental consoles and virtual reality headsets, including the HTC Vive line and Valve's own device, the Index. With an abundance of resources at its disposal and no stockholders to answer to, Valve routinely operates outside the boundaries of logical consumerism. In fact, many of its decisions are blatantly anti-consumer, flying in the face of what players and developers actually want. Valve forces players to use specific platforms.
No, they don't. Why would you say that? No, they don't. They don't do that. They only make you use their launcher to launch games you buy on their storefront. Just like any other platform, Origin is not forcing me to use its launcher, but I have to launch games that I buy from it there. That's the same thing with any other storefront anywhere else.
Shuts down revenue streams for developers.
No, they don't. They don't do that. Stop lying.
And shows little interest in building the games and sequels that fans are desperate to play.
Who gives a fuck? I'm noticing a pattern here. You started off the video with saying Valve is anti-consumer, but you're not. It's not anti-consumer to not make a sequel to a game. Valve isn't cutting any developer's revenue streams, and no, they're not forcing you to use their launcher or their platform. But if you buy a game from there, they need you to access their platform to launch it.
The company consistently offloads its moderation duties, and when its veteran writing team left, Valve bought Firewatch studio Camposanto, only to cancel development on its highly anticipated next project in the Valley of Gods.
Games being canceled happens like all the time. Look at Scalebound, the game Platinum Games was gonna make under Microsoft, but they canned it for some reason. I don't know why. I'm still pissed about it, but yeah, it happens sometimes. And I'm pretty sure Valve paid these developers very handsomely, and they even got to work on Half-Life Alyx. So again, we are 2 minutes into the video and you have yet to show us why Valve is anti-consumer in any capacity. The only thing you have successfully accomplished is made me feel like my soul, my essence, my being was being sucked out of my eye sockets. Look at you, you're fucking, oh my god. You look like you have shell shock. Those eyes have seen some shit. Fucking blink, please.
However, the most recent example of Valve's bad attitude is Half-Life Alyx. When it comes out on March 23rd, Alyx will be the first Half-Life game in 13 years. Valve released the original Half-Life in 1998, and its sequel, Half-Life 2, in 2004. Both titles were incredibly popular, but Half-Life 2 became an instant classic. It defined a genre of narrative-driven first-person shooters, and players were eager for more. Valve quickly announced a follow-up, but split it into 3 parts. Episode 1 landed in 2006, and Episode 2 came out in 2007. Fans have been begging Valve to release Half-Life Episode 3 for 13 years, and the company has largely responded with silence. This relationship has led to a strange form of digital Stockholm syndrome and branded paranoia, where players see clues about the game in every announcement Valve makes, desperate to believe their pleas are being heard.
Half-Life 3 confirmed is just a running joke. It's always been a joke. It's a meme. It's literally a joke made by the fans to poke fun at and also cope with the fact that they know Half-Life 3 will probably never happen. Well, I mean, that's at least what they used to think. Maybe with Half-Life Alyx being very popular, more entries into the Half-Life series will come. We'll probably see a Half-Life 3 perhaps. But really all that is mostly a joke. Who cares? So far, Valve is anti-consumer because they aren't making sequels to games like Left 4 Dead, Portal, Team Fortress 2, and fans have been doing a Half-Life 3 confirmed joke for years, and also because they're making a prequel VR game? What?
Half-Life Alyx isn't Half-Life Episode 3.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
As it stands, Valve still hasn't updated fans on the status of Episode 3. Instead, Alyx is a prequel, set between the events of Half-Life and Half-Life 2. Oh, and it's only playable on VR platforms. And it'll work best on the Index, Valve's proprietary VR headset that costs $1,000.
Oh, did you just hear that, Salt? It costs $1,000. It is a high-end headset for VR that Valve is offering if you want the best out of Half-Life Alyx. If not, you can use any other cheaper VR headsets out there, like the HTC Vive. Or there's a couple other ones that are like a few $100. You don't need to use the Index. That's literally pro-consumer. You have the choice to use whatever headset you want to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Index, but the option is there if you have the luxury to spend that money.
Shockingly, this strategy hasn't alienated Valve's fans. In fact, most players are expressing excitement for this VR-only, prohibitively expensive Half-Life prequel, and online hubs are buzzing with praise and intrigue. It's being hailed as the software savior of the VR industry, driving an increase in headset sales across the board, but particularly for the Valve Index.
Yes, because it looks like a good game. Look, you are actually showing how people are excited for the game. Even right there, someone is saying they won't be able to play it right away, but they are happy this even exists. No one thinks it's anti-consumer or a slap to the face. We're all pretty unanimously happy that we are getting another Half-Life game in any capacity, and it looks like it was a success.
Valve sold 103,000 Index kits and depleted its stock in the final 3 months of 2019 amid the announcement of Half-Life Alyx, according to SuperData Research. The company restocked on March 9th and sold out the same day. This is a classic Valve move. Forced adoption is exactly how the company got so many people happily hooked on Steam in 2004.
Forced adoption, huh? So you're against a platform using, a hook or something like an exclusive or a gimmick or a device to, strong arm you into using it, So a console for an exclusive, a VR headset for a VR game. So that's gatekeeping to you, right? Is that what you're saying? Because later in the video, you're actually going to talk about the Epic Game Store, but you're not going to mention how they're doing the exact same thing. Forced adoption. They are trying to force you to adopt their platform to play third-party games that they bought exclusivity rights for. But we'll get to that in just a minute.
Half-Life 2 was the first title that made Steam a requirement. Even with physical discs, players had to install Valve's client in order to play the game. By 2011, Valve had sold more than 12 million copies of Half-Life 2, and Steam had a stranglehold on the PC gaming market. Valve's anti-consumer tendencies aren't contained to the Half-Life franchise. The company is notoriously unable to count to 3 in any of its established series, leaving fans hanging after Left 4 Dead 2 in 2009, Portal 2 in 2011, and of course Half-Life Episode 2 in 2007. And then there's Team Fortress 2, a competitive class-based multiplayer shooter that's also been running since 2007. In an era of Overwatch, Fortnite, and live streaming, Team Fortress 2 could have been a top-tier esports title, but instead, Valve let the game languish. As of 2017, Valve had just 16 people on the TF2 development team, and even then, they weren't full-time.
Who the fuck cares about esports? I don't give a fuck. Why do you? So Valve is anti-consumer because they didn't make TF2 an esport and continue to support it with a huge staff? Please stop with this retarded mentality. This is why I can't hop on Apex or Modern Warfare to unwind after a fucking long day of work without having some 12-year-old streamer sweaty tryhard with TTV at the end of their name completely destroy my fucking asshole.
There's a cottage industry of friendly Valve-related memes revolving around the number 3 and hailing Gabe Newell as the patron saint of PC gaming.
Oh my god, are you mad at memes? Are you mad at jokes?
Valve's business-first mentality extends to developers on Steam as well. Early on, Valve established a revenue-sharing model, giving the company 30% of the sales from any game on Steam, leaving developers with a 70% share. And then the Epic Games Store launched in late 2018, offering developers an 88% cut. Independent studios rejoiced, and a handful of high-profile titles were announced as timed exclusives on the Epic Store.
She is literally praising the Epic Games Store for their 88% cut for the devs, which let's ignore the fact that Sweeney himself said it isn't sustainable, and that they would eventually have to match Steam's model, because that's the actual industry standard, not 88%. And she's gonna gloss over and not talk about the fact that Epic is literally paying third-party publishers to not put their game on Steam. Games that Epic had zero hand in developing. Sony takes 30%. Microsoft, Nintendo, Origin, Uplay, every fucking launcher out there or storefront takes 30%. That's the standard. Why is it only bad that Valve is doing the standard of 30% cut? No other company has come to match that rev cut from Epic. Not like any of us should give a fuck, and this doesn't show why Valve is anti-consumer.
Soon after, the Discord store announced it would offer developers 90%.
Wow, why didn't Epic fucking match Discord? They're so anti-consumer.
If Valve were any other company, it would have seen the positive response its competitors received from the developer community and altered its revenue-sharing model to match the new standard.
Nope, it's not a new standard, because it's just not. Everyone else is still doing 30%. Epic Games Store is the only, and Discord are the only ones doing anything other than that. So literally any other company or storefront or platform doesn't have to fucking do that. Especially Steam. They don't have to give a shit about that. That's not gonna do anything bad to them. Nobody cares about the Epic Games Store, and no one cares about the revenue cut. In fact, with games like Red Dead Redemption 2, it was shown that the exclusivity actually hurt the game's initial sales because everyone just waited a month for it to drop on Steam. Hundreds of thousands to nearly 1 million additional sales from people who waited.
Instead, Valve started offering developers a 75% cut of future revenue only once a game made $10 million, and an 80% cut after $50 million. Essentially, Valve didn't change its policies at all.
Eat shit.
Clearly, Valve doesn't need to regularly churn out smash hit series installments, jump on trends, or offer competitive deals to developers.
Clearly that's what you want them to do. You want them to be a certain way, even though other publishers or other storefronts like Epic aren't doing that. Just admit that you wanted to get some clicks on your fucking channel. You wanted to get like just easy, just clickbait. Oh, Half-Life Alyx is coming out. might as well fucking get a hate wagon onto our fucking video here and onto our website. You guys fucking disgust me.
And when Valve does actually release a game, it tends to be fantastic. Like, spawn a new genre of video games fantastic.
So let them fucking do it. They could be pushing VR forward. This is gonna show developers out there that yes, it is possible to make an incredible, engaging game with interesting mechanics and gameplay and storytelling, even if it's a VR title. You are literally contradicting every, not even good points that you made, because the entire video has been shit. Like, let's just be honest here. It was just everything you said is garbage and did not prove anything about Valve being anti-consumer. But you are literally contradicting everything you just said in this video and just claimed in the last 30 seconds. Holy fuck.
I guess that's why players will wait 13 years to be excited about the wrong game coming to a limited platform.
Eat shit.
Just like with Steam, Valve is the only company that can deliver this experience. And in both instances, there isn't really any other choice. Subscribe and stay tuned to Engadget.com for all the video game news.
No, I don't think I will.
Wow, so what did we learn? Valve is anti-consumer because they made a VR game, won't make a sequel to Left 4 Dead 2 or Portal 2, didn't push Team Fortress 2 to be an esport, won't match Epic's revenue cut that no other major publisher with a storefront is matching either, and the bullshit list just goes on and on and on. This video was just awful. I'm gonna go smoke a fatty. Subscribe if you like this. Let me know what you thought about it. Let me know what you thought about this video and the fucking abomination that we went through. Please do not give them a view, but if you do have to go to that video to drop a dislike, put ad blocker on. Don't give these fuckers any money. Alright, I'll catch you guys next time.